my name is Sandy Monroe. I'm an intuitive life coach. I love talking about everything about life, relationships, creating the life that we want, career-wise, business-wise, all of it, friendships, you name it. I want to talk about it because it's our life and we only get one life that we know of, that we're at least cognizant and aware of, and we're present and getting to experience. It's right now, right? Even if you believe in past lives, you're not experiencing your past life and you're not experiencing your future life right now. It's about right now. And we want to feel joy and peace and the best that we can right now. So that's what I love to do. If you love to do all of that too, then hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified, because I'm not on a schedule. I just do these whenever I can and I feel inspired. And if you like this at any moment, of course, hit that like button. And of course, I would love to hear anything that you have to say in the comments down below. Anything that inspired you, anything you want to keep talking about, I want to hear about it so we can keep having this conversation with our friends, with our family, back and forth, you and I, all of it. So today I want to talk about a little bit more serious topic because I feel like it's a very real topic right now. I've been seeing it everywhere, and it came to a head yesterday when I saw a friend posting about it in a really bad way, and how she's dealing with it in her life right now, and that is bullying. Bullying is real, and bullying affects your mental health. And my friend, who I adore, I'm going to share her Instagram down below if you want to see what she shared about bullying. But her son is being bullied in school to the point where he was afraid that this bully was going to kill him, because he kept threatening that he would actually bring a gun to school and do that very thing. So that, when you're a child, because he's only like 10 years old, is very scary, and you think it's really real and it could happen, and you think the way to stay safe is by not telling anybody. So he didn't tell anybody that this was happening. It's very, very real. But I want to talk about it because it's not just happening at the little kids level, elementary school level. It continues to happen at the adult level, because people, they don't cultivate the emotional skills, the self-awareness, the compassion, love, and kindness. They don't cultivate these things, and they continue to express their lives in this way, and it just creates misery for other people. I'll share another story of how I was just really thinking about this stuff. The other day, my friend shared with me that her uncle owns 30 acres. And this happens all of the time when it comes to ownership and property lines and just all of this kind of stuff, because people tend to be jealous or envious, or for whatever reason just think that they can just have other people's stuff just because they want it, like a child, right? I want it. I want it. I'm going to take it. And that's, sad but true, because I keep hearing these stories and it's like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Comment down below if you have any of your own stories like this, that it's like, what? You want it? Okay, are we like in kindergarten? Like, what? So what happened is that he owns 30 acres, and he didn't know this until after, or at some point, right? He sees the survey. He notices that the fence is actually, his neighbor's fence is actually built into his area. Now, he doesn't really care. He has 30 acres, and for what he wants to do, that's more than enough. So he doesn't want to like force her to tear it down or anything like that, and isn't doing anything like that. And he actually said so, like, look, I'm not going to create a mess for you. It's fine as far as, with me, it's fine. Obviously, if you were to sell his property, the other person might not feel the same way, and there would be nothing wrong with someone else not wanting that fence in their property, right? Because it doesn't belong in that property. So guess what this person did? She took it a mile more. She tried to take a big bite, and she says, oh, okay, since you don't really care, can you just give it to me? And he's like, what? No, I'm not going to just give it to you. I'm just telling you, you can keep your fence there. I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but no, you can't have it. And so then she threatens him, saying she has dogs and she's going to unleash it into his property because he won't give her his land. In what world does that make sense? It's not yours to begin with. And so I just was like, oh my gosh, the nerve of some people. Like they just want things. And this is what bullying is, right? Her threatening to do this to him, that's bullying. That is totally bullying. And she's an adult. Who knows how old, because I didn't ask. So I want to talk about where does this really come from, because I used to be a teacher and I used to work with littles, and I'm a mom and I go to the park all the time and I'm an intuitive. So I see a lot of these energies all the time in children, and I see how it's manifesting into this world, and I see why it's happening. So let's talk a little bit about why it's happening. So no judgment. I have no judgment toward anybody. This is just what I'm seeing. It's objectively seen. So what I'm seeing in littles, and people think it starts at like 6 or something like this, right? It does not. You can see this energy already in like a baby, definitely in a 1 or 2 year old. You can already see it because partially it's born. Partially when you are pregnant and you haven't really healed a lot of your baggage, your children are born with that baggage. And so it talks about this in the Bible too, right? In the Bible it says like 4 generations, right? That these things will pass. And I've actually seen it more than that, not more than 4 generations. So so if you're, it's just a generation stuff, and not only that, but how were you feeling during while you were pregnant, right? So if you were very angry and things like this while you were pregnant, then they also absorb that energy, and that gets melded into their energies, and that's just how they're kind of born. Some people notice it. Sometimes some people will notice that a baby never really smiles, and they look kind of grumpy all the time. And then I've had people tell me, but her mother's the same way. So you kind of, and they're talking about like a 3-month-old, but it's known. We see it in society, we see it happening. So we know that this is real. And so that's part of why all of this is happening, is a lot of it is generational. And if we don't make a conscious decision to look at our stuff, to look at where we came from, we can't move forward in life. We can't create a more peaceful, a better life. We just can't. We have to be able to look at our ancestors. We have to be able to look at our lineage. We have to be able to look at what's inside of us and be willing to go into that healing journey so that we can create a better life for ourselves and for everybody around us, including our little ones and our families. And so essentially a lot of the energy that's going on inside of bullies is just, I want what I want and I'm going to take it. And that's going, you even see that in 2-year-olds. I want what I want and I'm going to take it. And you see it in 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds and whatever year olds, 50-year-olds. I want what I want and I'm going to take it. And it's coming from a completely looking only at the self perspective, only thinking about what I want and not thinking about how do I operate in a space with others in love, in kindness, and in compassion, and kind of step outside of the self a little bit and see how our interactions are affecting others and how we want to engage in this world. Because all it takes is a little setback, right? Like with that woman just wanting it in her mind, I know what she's thinking. He's got 30 acres anyway. Like, what's this little middly thing to him? He can just give it to me. Well, because it's his, right? It's his. So that's why you don't just demand things that are not yours. And you probably can see why that's a little bit weird. But we live in a world where, no, obviously a lot of people don't think it's weird. A lot of people have a little bit more of this idea that if they want it, they can have it. I don't know where this idea is coming from, and I don't know why they think it's right. They seem to hang out with people who think the same way because it hasn't been corrected, even though they're in their 40s or 50s or 60s, right? Or even older. So, on some level, it's just never been corrected. In fact, it's probably just been enabled because people just kept giving in to them. And so they just kept doing it. Bullies love to throw their weight around, and usually when someone throws their weight on you, people bend because you don't want any trouble, you don't want any conflict, and so they get used to it and they just keep doing it. So what needs so what I would like to talk about is some solutions for this for the young ones. Start them with the right start. And so as a teacher, I really cared about this because I didn't want any bullying or anything like that going on in my classroom, and thankfully there never was. Because we would talk about how to live in community from the beginning of the school year. And as a parent, I've been teaching this to my son as well. So one of the books I would love to talk to you about is this one that I read to the littles and that I've read to my son. And it's by Fred Rogers, and it's Making Friends. So it's a wonderful book to read, I think, even, to 6, 7 year olds. And it talks about the conflicts, about real conflicts that little ones have, that when you really think about, you have still when you're older. Right here it says there are times when friends like to do the same things and other times when they don't. It isn't always easy for friends to decide what they want to do when they're together. And so it walks you through all of these scenarios that you can find yourself in relationships. And that happens even when you're an adult, right? Your friends want to go see this movie and you want to go to see another movie, and there's conflict. And how do you compromise? How do you make decisions together? How do we move into a place of peace and awareness and living with other people instead of just I want all of the time. And I love it because it goes into why these things happen. No two people are exactly alike. So nobody does things exactly the same way. And you can see here they're fighting over the blocks thing going on. She wants it a different way, I believe. There's some of that there going on. So this is a wonderful book to bring up these topics because part of the reason this stuff is going on is because there's this I want, and kids don't know how to release that, how to be able to express what they want in a healthy and meaningful way. So if you would like to keep talking about this, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much.